You're watching Nerdosity.
Hey, what's up, Nerdosity? This is your host, I Got Cosplay, coming at you. And today, I'm coming back at you with a top list of Nerdosity. This time being the top 10 infuriating moments in video games. If you know me, then you know I love to play video games. And I play a lot of them. I mean, just check out my live stream playlist and you can see a whole bunch of videos where I play an eclectic selection of video games for your entertainment. And right now, the big one, Hogwarts Legacy. So please, check it out. But sometimes, games can just be infuriating. Like, so bad, the game itself, infuriating, as I've heard from the masochists who like to play Dark Souls and Elden Rings. But, since I don't hate myself completely, I like to play games that actually have a chance of being completed. But even those games can have moments of just righteous fury. Ugh. So here are my picks for the top 10 most infuriating moments in video games. Beware spoilers for Red Dead Redemption 2, Borderlands 3, God of War, and Marvel's Spider-Man. We're starting off the list strong with number 10, buttons aren't buttoning. Goodness, I cannot tell you how many times I've pressed a wrong button and wondered why the loot box or chest wasn't opening, why I accidentally threw a grenade, or why I jumped instead of crouched. Ugh. But, you know what's not my fault? When I click the correct button and the action fails because I did it too late or the button just didn't work. Just wasn't working. It didn't appear on screen, or it did appear on screen and it just was not working. Obviously, I don't want to jump into the person I was trying to assassinate with triangle. Of course, I didn't want to throw a grenade into a stealth mission when I just wanted to open the chest. But both of the buttons are the same action. That's crazy to me. If the button has a different action, that could do something completely different than the first action. Oh, you're telling me that square means open chest and also means throw my insanely long cooldown spell? Why? Because if I hit it wrong, if I move slightly and the button disappears on screen right as I click it, boom, I lost my whole entire cooldown. Or boom, I threw a grenade and blew myself up and ended my whole entire life. That's insane. And don't get me started on QuickTime events and QuickTime free games, or where they're supposed to be, like, no QuickTime events. I'm sorry, are we in Until Dawn right now? Or a visual novel game where this actually matters? Don't throw some random buttons my way and then kill me when I think I've triggered a cutscene, okay? That's actually insanely rude. Number 9, trophy hunting turns into trophy hating. Oh gosh, trophies are awesome. They kind of make you want to play the game to its complete fullest because you want that little nugget of serotonin that it gives you when it says, you've done something awesome that only 3.9 people have ever done in the entire world of playing this game. And it does feel good. It does feel good. But when the trophies are basically impossible to get without pouring hundreds or thousands of hours into the game, or you're unable to get it after you pass a certain point without restarting the entire game, or they're just impossible to get without being a master gamer for some reason, or a developer because you have the cheat codes, it just, after that, it just becomes a drag, you know? Like a rat race, constant stab in the pride when you have to look at the trophies that you will never receive. And that platinum dream, gone, forever. Overwatch is pretty notorious in doing this crap. I mean, they make stupid hard trophies that all hang on the balance that you are amazing at one specific character, having the right team backing you up, and then just having all the little right pieces fall into place. I mean, who has the actual mastery of this game that they are able to kill 6 people with one gun clip as Reaper? Again, every little piece has to fall into place for this thing to happen. Or, who is killing 3 people without dying while riding on the walls as Lucio? It's hard enough to ride around as Lucio as it is. If we're being honest here, I gave up on Overwatch trophies a long time ago. They are just legitimately impossible to get. Number 8 is wall crawling in Assassin's Creed, and maybe some other games. I know, anyone and everyone who has ever played an Assassin's Creed game has yelled at the screen and their character multiple times because either they act like the controls are on reverse and you are going down the tower instead of going up, or they just completely launch off the side of the building towards their freaking doom because they decided that that was the correct move to do. I just wanted to go to the next point. I just wanted to get my eagle, alright? To look at the whole entire world. And the next thing I know, I'm getting a game over screen because I took too much fall damage because my idiot of a player decided that, yeah, I'm 1,000 feet in the air. I only got one more place to get before I can get this map lookout. But the ground looks kind of inviting. Let's go. I have never been so confused at an individual before than the assassin that thinks that jumping off while 1,000 feet in the air will end well for him. I'm sure it's happened in other games too, but maybe nothing more constant than the Assassin's Creed games. And definitely some of the Uncharted games actually, because I know I did a lot of jumping where instead of landing safely on the other side, for some reason your camera moves slightly and the man jumps 15 feet away from the actual place and falls down to the ground and then dies and then the game over screen again. What is happening with these characters? Jump in the safety net. Jump where it's safe. You know you're gonna die. You're human. But at least more recent Assassin's Creed games allow you to climb basically anything, anywhere, at all times. So like, I guess the traversal aspect of it all evens out. And God of War did something really cool where they were basically like, you can't climb anything unless you see the buttons. And then they gave you no way whatsoever to fall to your death. No way. Now, I'm not saying be like God of War, because I do like having the open world where I can climb anything that I want. But I am saying, don't obviously fall to your death. Now we're on to number 7. This is very niche. Dutch doesn't care about his team. Even the face of Micah as the traitor. I was probably never more upset and mad about a plotline in a video game and with specific video game characters than in Red Dead Redemption 2 when Micah was found out to be the traitor. I mean, he caused countless deaths all around this open world, whether it was within the game or just innocent bystanders just trying to live their life. And for no reason whatsoever. And these were some of the most heartbreaking and gut-wrenching deaths in one game. I mean, I cried a lot in this game. And I just didn't think I was gonna have to do that, you know? And this was all because he just didn't want to end up dead or in jail along with the rest of the gang. But you know what's crazy about that? You know what's just crazy? What's just crazy to me? Is that the gang would have gotten away with everything if he had just kept his mouth shut and didn't turn into the backstabbing traitor scum like he is. And scum he is. Because this coward became a brown-noser, sold out his entire gang to the Pinkertons for nothing more than an empty promise. Micah wasn't any better off when he got his comeuppance at the end of Red Dead Redemption 1, the first one. And I'm serious, like I legitimately cried actual tears when Hosea, Susan, Sean, and Lenny died. I mean, we got to know these characters, and we were so happy with these characters. Then they just die in literally the most horrific ways ever, and also preventable ways, if it wasn't for Micah. The worst part about all of this is he wasn't even sorry about any of the deaths, or the backstabbing, or the lies, or what happened at all. He almost seemed happy, and more than happy to twist all of the deaths, all of the backstabbing, all of the lies, in a way that Dutch would believe he was in the right, and that he was pure and blameless. And you know what kills me every time? Dutch believed him. Dutch betrayed his members as well, even going as far as to throwing Arthur to the wayside. The kid he raised from an orphan who had nowhere else to go, and all while listening to lies of a cunning yet disgusting little pig.
Seems old Micah was pretty close with Milton.
What the hell are you talking about, cowpoke?
You talked, Dutch.
Dutch, think of the future.
Milton told me.
And you believe him, Black Lung? You believe him?
It all makes sense now.
No, it damn well doesn't.
Dutch, think.
Dutch? Be practical now.
Dutch!
John?
You left me! You left me to die! My boy. I didn't have a choice. John, I didn't... All of you, you pick your side now because this is over. Oh, them years, Dutch. For this snake.
And now we go on to number 6. Tom Nook leasing your island to complete and utter randos. I mean, Animal Crossing New Horizons' whole shtick is that you own an island to make it all your own, and you really do put in the hours to make this thing 1 in a million. And I mean hours. Like hundreds. Like I have 340 hours on this game, and that's saying something for a game that you can complete in like 20. Complete in the way that that's the end of the actual like missions. Yeah. So, with that being said, why the heck do the people who inhabit your island have to be completely random and not what you want at all unless you happen to get lucky or you jump through some serious and sometimes monetary hoops? And if you do happen to get someone who wants to move, like one of your blacklist characters who are just like, I don't want to move now, you have to be insanely quick with finding a replacement, or Tom Nook will just do it himself and you'll have to go through the whole process again. I mean, if I actually owned an island, I would be making these folk go through some serious background checks, man. And I would definitely be able to house more than 10 people. But when I want an island of tigers, I get an island of tigers, and no tycoon raccoon can stop me. Get off my island, O'Hare! You ugly! Now we're on to number 5, Cuphead levels past Island 1. Cuphead was always one of those games where you knew it was going to be difficult going into it, but the art style, the eclectic villains, the plot line, and the soundtrack were just so enticing that you just had to play. Plus, each time you won one of the levels, it was just the greatest feeling in the world. I mean, you just felt like a gaming master. I can still feel the serotonin running through my body. And all of those elements squashed together, and the fact that it wasn't vulgar or gory or super dark makes this one of the easiest games to understand and enjoy and dive into despite its difficulty. And its difficulty is very unforgiving. Like, it is just so bad after Island 1. It's like being in a war. Is this what hell is like? Oh no. Like, the way they get you with the first island, making you feel strong and a master gamer and just super awesome, it's just cruel. Because after that, it's like being thrown to the wolves while being currently eaten by a wolf. Like, the amount of times I have yelled at this game, cried, and raged quit is staggering. And the amount of times I've come back is confusing. Because why? Why am I doing this to myself? But it's so darn satisfying when you finally win. I am especially hateful towards Dr. Call's robot. I hated him with a burning passion and wanted to just shoot the person who came up with that boss fight because I was stuck on that for months. Maybe even a year. So, with that being said, be prepared to give up Cuphead for about half a year and then be drawn right back to it like a siren is calling you. Right now, I'm stuck on King Dice, and I haven't played it for about 4 months. So, yeah, check out me in 2 months and see how I'm doing, because I might just be very, very close to death. And now we're on to number 4, Battling Sans in Undertale. Not only is this battle a major tearjerker, since you did a heck of a lot of killing and evil and murder to get here, but the battle is a straight bullet hell. Like, it is the longest fight in the whole game, and I think the hardest fight for sure. And it takes a long time to get used to all of the attacks he has coming at you, if you can even last that long to even get to the point to understand the pattern. It tips all of your controls on its head multiple times during the fight when sand messes with your character. And don't get me wrong, it's a masterfully done fight with the mechanics and the writing, alright? But, good golly, does it make you want to pull out your hair and scream with how hard it is. It's on par with Cuphead levels, to be honest. And yes, it didn't take me as long to beat Sans as it did to actually, finish Dr. Call's robot. I finished this game, I finished the whole entire thing in probably, I finished the genocide route maybe in, a week or so. But it was more mentally and internally damaging with how Sans talks to you in the end. He made you feel like crap afterwards. I mean, you did straight up kill his brother just to find the different endings, just to do the genocide route, so, kind of deserved it, but you don't even get a trophy for it. Hey, you've made it to the 3s, so let's start off strong with just Atreus. Legitimately, just this boy in God of War. Oh my gosh, he's just so annoying. And every time he comes on screen or speaks, I just want to kill myself. I just want to die. Because, it was a literal hell to have it, to have to play him. Because, I knew everything that he was doing was just screwing everyone in the game over. Multiple times. Which would have, actually happened? For real? If he didn't have Kratos and Freya picking up the mess that he made along the way. I mean, legitimately fixing every single problem he created that was just inching their way towards Ragnarok. He made it happen. This game is entirely Atreus' fault. Now, don't get me wrong. I very much enjoyed the game whenever I was playing as Kratos. I very much enjoyed it. It is a masterfully done game. Beautiful. Just 10 stars. I would definitely play it again. Maybe. Because Atreus just kills me on the inside. I just hate him so much. He is a literal child who thinks he's all that in a bag of chips just because he's half god and half giant with a prophecy about him. He is constantly whining about everything. Questions his dad the same amount. Just all the time. And he is a catalyst, like I said, for every single bad thing that happens in the second game. Just because he can't listen to the wisdom of his elders who have actually been around the block and learned things the hard way. I mean, isn't that the whole entire thing of advice? Is to make you not have to go what they went through? Listen to the people who have made these mistakes and have legitimately had horrifying consequences of it to not do the exact same thing. Do you want tons and tons of years and centuries of regret on your back, boy? He is insanely full of himself. Kills Modi for no reason in the first game, besides the fact that he could and he wanted to. And he was just so demonic at that time. I can kill this man if I want to. I mean, we're gods. Why does it matter? You're turning into Odin, boy! And then also, he's an unapologetic liar. He lies like he breathes. It's just one after the other. Whether it's blatantly lying, or a lie of omission, or an exaggeration. I mean, he just lies to anybody who ever comes across his path. It's insane. He lies to his dad all the time. Stop doing that. Literally, do you know where you are? This is not our Earth. Lies can get you in a heck of a lot of trouble. I mean, not only does he constantly renounce his dad during the entire game, he wants to always have everybody call him Loki. That is not what your dad called you. It is Atreus.
But what if Loki going to Ironwood is the only way that...
Atreus, and nothing more.
Stop that. And he's like, don't call me Atreus, call me Loki, blah, blah. And he just, frick me, gosh. It's just awful. And then he pushes against everything that his dad says. Everything is just going against his dad. When you know his dad has the correct stuff. His dad knows what's going on because he's been here and done that. Atreus also puts countless of innocents at risk just because he wants to start a war for his own pleasure and glory. And you know he wants it for his glory because apparently a prophecy does everything that you can, and you have to do what the prophecy does because the prophecy is for you, and I've got to win the war because that's my prophecy. You're causing it! You know how many people don't give a dadgum about your stupid prophecy? The people who are dying because of it. Because you are making it! He causes the death of Brock. He causes the death of Graham. I mean, yeah, Graham turns into Fenrir, which is very, very, very nice. But, like, seriously, he causes the deaths of Suter, Modi, Heimdall, Thor, and Freyr, plus countless of others when the war actually came to fruition. A war Kratos never wanted to start. And a war that never would have happened if Atreus didn't help it happen. Like I said, he was the cause. If he had just stopped and listened to Kratos and Freya, instead of believing he had to do everything by himself just because he had a prophecy, Ragnarok never would have happened. He should have just left well enough alone. But a child with a lot of pride and magic, with no wisdom or knowledge to back it up, can cause so much catastrophic damage.
Here you are. A meal fit for a champion.
Enough. I said we would speak no more of that.
Yes, of course. Didn't mean to offend.
I'm not offended. It's just a word.
The word that clouds your judgment.
So, you really don't think it means anything? Everything we saw in Jotunheim? What was it all for? Don't you ever think about that?
Every day. But I cannot believe her purpose was to inspire you to take foolish risks.
But what if the giants are counting on me?
What giants? I am counting on you. To be safe. To be smart.
But-
Use the judgment of a man and not of a child.
But what if Loki going to Ironwood is the only way that...
Atreus, my son.
I'm not hungry anymore.
Now we go with number 2, Doc Ock's reasoning behind the mass genocide. The only reason why he released Devil's Breath into the city was to ruin Norman Osborn. Oscorp created this experimental chemical and tested it on people, including Martin Lee, which turned him into Mr. Negative, causing an explosion that also killed Lee's parents. The chemical ended up being dangerous and a lethal failure. But Norman wouldn't stop its production because he was trying to make something that would help his son become well. He had like a disease, so he wanted to fix his son's disease with some experimental chemicals. Otto Octavius was a part of Oscorp in the beginning, Norman's partner during this time, but left because of these unethical actions, creating a small lab of his own to create things that would actually help people. But after a while, his funding was taken away by Norman, dredging up all of the hate for him once again. When he was actually creating the arms for himself because his body was just degrading. Like, it was really bad what was happening to Otto. He made a neural interface that just wasn't right yet, just wasn't ready. And so when it attached to him, the neural interface, it messed with his mind. Like, seriously, just twisted it, and Otto turned into Doc Ock. And all of the hate and evil feelings were just amplified. He stole Devil's Breath and released it all over Manhattan just to show the whole city exactly who Osborn was, but claimed it would be cured once Osborn was ruined and admitted his mistakes, apologized, all that good jazz. But Osborn never would, because, Norman is Norman, He's an arrogant B word, And looking past that, the fact that Norman would never actually do all those things that Otto wanted him to do, this is called bioterrorism, kiddos. Like, this is bad. This man took a experimental chemical that was known to cause death and destruction and stuff and released it all over the city. He caused the death of many people whose immune systems couldn't keep them alive long enough for the antidote to be made, including the saddest death in games in most recent history, Aunt May. That I cried inconsolable tears. I cried them. He was a good man at first, Otto was. But he allowed his mind to be altered and played with due to the impending deadlines and lost money, turning him into a vengeful scientist not afraid to kill anyone standing in his way. And at that point, you can't feel sorry for him. But at the same time, you just do.
Peter, I saw you as a son, I should have known you'd turn on me, just like all the others.
Turn. I've worshipped you. Your mind, your conscience, wanting to help others. The way you never gave up.
To use our talents in the service of others. Even if they don't appreciate it. We have to do what's best for those beneath us, whether they understand it or not.
No, you're wrong. You are everything I wanted to be. You just threw it away.
And here we are, friends. I didn't have any honorable mentions this time, so we're here at number 1, killing the most likable siren in-game without giving her any proper story like all the others. I mean, Lilith had her run, y'all! Seriously, she had her turn. Justice for Maya. Plus the little annoying brat that takes her place? I don't know if I can forgive this game for this. The game team for this. Ever! And I hesitate to play the main games again. I mean, I could play Borderlands 2 again, but I've already done that a couple of times. I just can't do 3 again. Even though the game itself was just beautiful and really nice, and the mechanics and the game stuff was just great, and I loved it. But then, she freaking dies. I mean, seriously, bring Maya back. She was the best siren in the series and one of the most likable characters ever, with the most potential to have games and DLC made about her. Plus the fact that we already fell in love with her as a player character in the second game. Why you do this to us? It wasn't an earned death, and honestly, it was really bad writing as well. It seemed like a means to an end, like they were just trying to get somewhere, like they couldn't afford the voice actor anymore, or something like that, and just had to get her out of the way so she would never pop up in this games again. The whole reason she died was because the stupid little kid couldn't pay attention to directions. Ava is legitimately just like Atreus, but kind of worse. Not to mention the death wasn't even good. It was just pathetic, and it made you want to quit the entire game. The only reason why I finished the game was because I kept holding out hope that she would come back, that they would fix her, that some magic voodoo nonsense bullcrap, siren crap would bring her back. I couldn't even bring myself to play Krieg's DLC, even though she may be in it in some flashbacks, because that's not enough. Like I said, the game mechanics and the art is rather amazing in this iteration, and the best out of the 3, honestly, but the story just died with Maya. It literally just done. The end. The main antagonists weren't bad enough to even warrant killing Maya, especially since she held her own against Handsome Jack and killed him in the second game. Handsome Jack was the best and worst antagonist in like most recent video game history. Like, he's one of the best. One that was actually like truly evil and someone who could actually hold their own against like a lot of magic that was in this world. But these stupid siren twins, they sucked. They were pathetic. They couldn't do jack squat. It was like listening to teenagers, like just trying to be cool, and it was just cringy. I honestly don't even know if I'll be able to play another Borderlands game that continues on like this because of Maya dying. If they ever kill Zero, I won't ever play any of the Borderlands games again. Spin-offs or no, ever. The only reason this is number 1, because even though Aunt May died and that was awful, it was earned. Her death was earned in the story, and the writing was amazing. And like Peter got to have Aunt May for an insanely long time. She was very old. So the fact that she died because of this and how it pushed Peter to be better was earned. It felt correct. This felt hollow and awful and just not worth it at all. To kill off one of the best characters in the game for a seemingly frivolous reason, to allow one of the strongest characters, she was insanely strong, to just die a random death to someone significantly weaker than them. Just to throw in this random death to elicit any type of emotion because you're too lazy to write a plotline that is actually good? It's just despicable and unforgivable. To quote Reddit user The Dire Crow, Maya's death was lazy and nothing more than a played out trope. She dies so her insufferable protege can take her destiny seriously. It's trite and utterly predictable. Maya didn't even fight back.
Ava, I'm trying to keep you safe.
By just ditching me on the ship? You said I could be a vault hunter like you! You promised!
You will! When you're ready. Put her down! That's what I thought.
Maya!
Ava, don't be ready.
So, yeah. These games know just how to push your buttons. But if the button pushing isn't enough to make you sell the game and never play it again, which has happened to me before, then maybe it was for the greater good. Except for Maya dying. That's unforgivable. That's never for the greater good. And have I played Borderlands 3 since I finished the main game? No. And will I ever play it again? No. Won't do it. Ever. The game writers are some hoes for that, man. I literally hate them for that. But if you agree with my picks or have something that I didn't touch upon, please comment down below. I might make a new version of this later, maybe, if I find some more infuriating moments in this game. Also, make sure you like and subscribe so that I can do more things like this. And if you want props or items or anything sort of custom made that's 3D printed, please check out my Etsy at Nerdosity Creations. And just check it out, check it out, check it out. So thank you guys so much for watching. You've been watching Nerdosity, and I will see you next time. Bye!